You guys want to see something cool? So two things have happened at the same time. Internet Archive has lost an appeal over the legality of them digitally scanning all information. Internet Archive is a place where you can see everything. Hosts more than 3.2 million copies of copyrighted books on its website. It contended the library was transformative because it made lending more convenient and served the public interest by promoting access to knowledge. So Internet Archive, for those of you who have not chosen to use it, is probably the greatest repository of information in existence that is accessible to you just day to day, you know, like that. Elon tweeted about protecting Internet Archive. That's surprising to me because Elon is usually only allowed to say things that are incorrect. But if this is one of those edge cases where he'll defend a position that I actually agree with, then I guess I'll take that. I don't think that's going to lead to much materially, but I am happy that, I don't know, broken clock. Yeah, broken clock. Look, I want to be clear, okay? I think the Internet Archive does not have a good legal argument in defense of itself. I think the problem ultimately is just with copyright and the world at large. Like, I think that legally they're cooked. I think that the world would be better if that wasn't the case. Does that make sense? I don't think that the government or the courts are incorrect in their application of the law. The outrage here is about the law itself. I just want to be clear about that. It's not, yeah, it's an objective, inarguable violation of copyright laws. Being headed by a number of book publishers, some of which are very soy. Did you see that? One of the publishers, one of the guys fronting this lawsuit against Internet Archive is like a Gen X Tommy Need Drinky, Crump Nustable, Bernie, my tenant from hell kind of guys. Wendig, is it Wendig? Yeah, I think it's Wendig. What is Wendig? He's like a lol cow, basically. He's just a really cringe guy, known mostly for his blog where he's arguing that he's not suing the Internet Archive. He's just soy. We just like to identify and make fun of soy people. He was one of the people involved in the lawsuit, as I understand it. But he wants to like distance himself from it because it's actually really unpopular. Because there's basically nobody who's anti-Internet Archive, but there are a lot of people who are pro-Internet Archive. You know, I completely despise modern copyright. It only serves to help the rich. Yeah. I mostly talk about this in the context of video games. In fact, I talked about it last stream, how it's kind of weird how live service games basically make it impossible to play a version of a game that you might have enjoyed as a kid, right? It might literally not be possible to have an experience that you could have had with something you legally purchased beforehand. I don't know. And then you've got games that are inaccessible unless you torrent them, like you emulate them, like you literally can't get them anywhere else, but that's illegal, and it's like, it's a whole mess, you know? It's a whole damn mess. He apparently donated on behalf of the Internet Archive as publisher is going after the IA. So he personally has had a turnabout, but it's the publisher? Interesting. Well, he's soy anyway. So at the same time that the Internet Archive is on the precipice of shutdown due to what is pretty clearly an inarguable violation of copyright law, OpenAI pleads that it cannot make money without using copyrighted materials for free. It would be impossible to train today's leading AI models without using copyrighted materials. The amount of copyright material that you need to use in order to develop an AI, like a chat AI, is biblical. I don't think any company could afford it. I mean, you're talking about like thousands or tens or hundreds of thousands or millions of individual pieces of material pulling from everything in order to train your AI model. And OpenAI is essentially saying, my company can't work unless you let me steal everything. It's not profitable unless you let me steal everything. And you know what? I think they're going to get away with it. I think that Internet Archive is going to be shut down, and I think that AI companies are going to be allowed to continue training their databases on copyrighted material and content. Like, more or less indefinitely. I think that's probably true. GPT-4 has 1.8 trillion parameters. Can you imagine how easily you would open yourself up to lawsuit if AI training their data on your content was something that was being done in like a different context. If you were an artist or an author and someone just started using your material shamelessly, just taking it and publishing it and reusing it for their own purposes without your permission, that's an easy lawsuit. I mean, the Internet Archive is going to be losing their lawsuit almost certainly for this reason, though in that case it's not being done for profit, but because they want to share knowledge with humanity, which is a good thing, unlike, you know, the violation of copyrighted content purely for profit seeking. But can you imagine how easy that would be, like, as a lawsuit? But with OpenAI or the other AI training algorithms, you can just have your shit uploaded kablamo. Congratulations, we've now trained an AI system to make your art. Shittily, but still, we're making it. If nothing else, like, it needs to be public knowledge whenever an AI is being trained on data. Like, any book, any piece of text, any image, anything that gets uploaded to it should be publicly available so you can scrutinize it to see if there are violations of your personal material. NVIDIA has literally scraped videos from Netflix. Crazy. And they get away with it because they're multi-billion-dollar tech companies that are taking advantage of the newest trend. Crypto, NFTs, AI, whatever. What good has it done for humanity thus far? Nothing! Cue people jumping in saying like, oh, did you know that a completely different kind of AI algorithm is helping to detect cancer cells? Yes, I know, because you bring it up every time I'm talking about generative AI, text, images, whatever. What good has it done so far for humanity? Nothing! NVIDIA scraping a human lifetime of videos per day to train AI. Lionhead Gaming, that's a nice essay prompt. I choose to continue to focus on the segment. I hate how much AI has been misused and bastardized, TBH. I mean, this isn't a misuse of AI. This is what it's for. This is what it's here for. So massive companies can generate ungodly amounts of hype, thereby inflating their own, the value of their stock, while ripping people off and dangling keys in front of people's face. Like, this is what it's for. Stock. Sean Connery giving his reading you his portfolio. This is what it's for. There's no other purpose to this, you know? Trambulis, I see your essay prompt and I choose to focus on the segment. As the Telegraph reports, the AI firm said in a filing submitted to a House of Lords subcommittee, I love the UK, that only using content from the public domain would be insufficient to train the kind of large language models it's building, suggesting the company must therefore be allowed to use copyrighted material. Teacher, my business idea doesn't work unless I steal a lot. So you should let me steal a lot. My, what was the tweet that I saw? Sorry, Your Honor, but my muffin shop can only stay open if I continue to steal muffins from this other muffin shop because they make the muffins that we use for our muffin shop. You wouldn't download a car? Yeah. Because copyright today covers virtually every sort of human expression, including blog posts, photographs, forum posts, scraps of software code, and government documents. Yeah. It would be impossible to train today's leading AI models without using copyrighted materials. Okay. Why do we need to train AI models again? Limiting training data to public domain books and drawings created more than a century ago might yield an interesting experiment, but it would not provide AI systems that meet the needs of today's citizens. What needs? The Trump campaign needs to AI generate more shots of Kamala Harris in a communist outfit, preaching to a crowd filled with everyone wearing red. To say that AI only creates hype for companies is completely reductionist. That's not true. You could always reduce further. For example, I could reduce by 1 the number of people in my chat. Completely reductionist. You have no idea how far down the bar goes. AI-generated extra frames in video games are nice. No, they're not. I do not want every other frame in a video game to be guess-painted by a program for me. I think that they should simply optimize their game. Yes, they are DLSS fucks. No, it doesn't. It's not needed. These programs aren't needed at all. They deliberately unoptimize modern games that your systems would normally be able to handle so they can sell you new tech. Every new run of graphics cards needs to have some new fancy shiny thing to sell you on. The only reason you think you need it is because they deliberately promote it. They pretend that it's useful. It's not. You don't need it. They're not guest painted. Also, optimizing isn't the reason games suck. Stop conspiracy posting. Sin Phoenix, did you think you were free? Did you think you were safe? Vaush, I'm a huge tech nerd and you're perfectly correct here. I know. We know what to do with the AI types, folks. We know. Just a few weeks ago, the New York Times sued OpenAI and Microsoft, its biggest investor, from profiting from allegedly massive copyright infringement, commercial exploitation, misappropriation of the paper's intellectual property. The paper of record is far from alone in its legal overtures against OpenAI. A few months prior, the Authors Guild sued the firm on behalf of some of the biggest names in fiction. John Grisham, Jodi Colt, George R. R. Martin, on objections to using those writers' work being used to train ChatGPT. Cool. AI companies desperately hiring authors and poets to fix their crappy writing. What? Your Honor, respectfully, why shouldn't I get to steal? I think it just goes to show how much, like, what copyright law is actually for. You know, the Internet Archive is a repository of knowledge for all mankind. That will go after. But so far, for years, AI training has been ripping off copyrighted material with basically no consequences. And the companies that are doing this are making unfathomable amounts of money. NVIDIA, Microsoft, massive companies getting away with it freely. Now, are they going to be shut down? Maybe. I don't know. At some point, maybe. I mean, I can't see the future. I do not think that the courts will be as punitive towards this example of blatant copyright law violation as they will be to the Internet Archive. But I want it to be. NVIDIA isn't the one doing the stealing. What is this then? Leaked documents show NVIDIA scraping a human lifetime of videos per day to train AI. Is that not this? Do you think Wikipedia might be in trouble because of AI? No. Why support copyright law? I don't. It's a blatant violation of copyright law, Benjamin Gilbert lived. The copyright abolitionism leaving my body as soon as it hurts AI companies. I'm not a full copyright abolitionist. As long as we have a market economy, I do think there's value in exclusive rights over stuff you produce for a certain length of time. Obviously, that doesn't mean that I support the broader system or the way that law is implemented or all the changes that have happened thanks to Disney or what have you. Like, but I'm not a complete abolitionist of the subject. That would probably not be very good, you know? The issue with AI is more spiritual than it is actual copyright motivated. You know, if the copyright law is a useful implement in bringing it down, then I support that. But the real argument against AI systems is that they're enemies of humanity. But there's no law for that, you know. The spiritual crime, a wound inflicted on the psyche of every living human, being demonic, are not actual crimes. So maybe one day. Code Pink being charged under the Anti-Terror Act. I have no idea what that is. Scribd.com? I have no idea what that is. Code Pink. I googled Code Pink Hamas and I do not see anything that looks relevant. So did you just like send me a text document? Oh my God, we got one from somebody who just made an account. Many AI models are actually helping society. For example, and they linked AI in breast cancer diagnosis and personalized medicine. Dude, you're so predictable that I called you. Are you a bot? I just assume you're a bot. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have. You probably would have heard me 10 minutes ago directly address that. You know there are bots everywhere, right? And a lot of them are driven by the exact systems I'm talking about. Maybe that guy wasn't a bot. I did permanently ban them on the assumption they were a bot. I guess I just don't understand why people are so interested in reflexively defending, like, the good version of AI. Why? It's done nothing but spread misery. Nothing. It's done nothing good. Generative AI, making images and text, it's done nothing but reduce the amount of purpose and meaning in the world. I think you're sick. Wasn't there recently a big essay that was getting some accolades about AI, about how it reduces the amount of intentionality in the world? Now everything is cheapened because we have no idea whether something was made by a living, breathing human with thought and purpose and intention and motivation and, you know, feeling, or if it's just like been thrown out by a mindless bot. It makes us more cynical, more distrustful. It makes everything less valuable. It's a spiritual sickness. Generative AI saves me time with scripting. That's cool. And now I'll save you 24 hours in this chat. I don't know why you do, like, what it's, you think you're gonna present the good case, right? You don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. Script yourself, you lazy jackass. Robbing people saves me time with getting more money. That's true.